It all happened nearly 10 years ago. I lived in a bustling city, but summers there were unbearably hot. That year, I longed for a change. I wanted to escape the noise, walk through peaceful woods, and see the beauty of green trees. I had a little red car and a map. With a heart full of excitement, I drove all night into the countryside. The cool breeze, the open road, and the thought of adventure made me happy. It was a summer to remember. As the sun rose, the countryside revealed its charm. The morning air was warm, the sky was painted a brilliant blue, and the chirping birds filled the trees with life. Everything felt perfect. But then, my car came to a sudden halt. "What's wrong?" I thought, puzzled. I quickly realized I was out of petrol. Panic set in. I had no choice but to walk and find a town where I could buy petrol. I checked my map, but there wasn't a town nearby. I was lost, completely alone in the vast countryside. And then I saw her. She walked gracefully down the road, holding a bouquet of flowers in her hand. She wore a long dress, and her hair was dark and flowing, shining beautifully in the sun. She was breathtaking. I stepped out of the car and called out, "Hello, I'm lost. Could you tell me where I am?" She hesitated, her blue eyes wide with fear. Sensing her discomfort, I softened my voice. "I've run out of petrol," I explained. "Could you tell me where I might find some?" Her expression changed, and a shy smile crossed her lips. "I don't know," she said. "But come with me to the village. Perhaps someone there can help you." Grateful for her kindness, I followed her. We walked for what felt like ages, and I couldn't help but notice there was no village marked on my map. When we finally arrived, the sight took my breath away. The village was small, quaint, and timeless, with black and white houses surrounded by animals. It felt like stepping back into history. She stopped in front of a house and invited me in. Inside, everything was simple yet spotless. A fire crackled in the hearth, and food cooked above it. My stomach grumbled at the smell. An older couple greeted me warmly, her parents, as it turned out. Their clothes were unusual, old-fashioned even, but they were kind and welcoming. The old man offered me a drink, and I thanked him. The liquid was dark and strong, unlike anything I'd ever tasted, but strangely comforting. I asked about petrol, but the old man looked confused. "Petrol?" he repeated. "What is that?" I blinked. "How do you travel?" "We use horses," he said, smiling. "Horses?" I thought. How quaint. But I didn't question it further. I spent the day there, enjoying their company. That evening, we shared dinner, a simple yet delicious meal cooked over the fire. Afterward, Mary, the girl, invited me to the garden. "This is nice," she said softly. "We don't get many visitors." We talked for hours. She was kind, intelligent, and beautiful. But as the night deepened, her mood shifted. "Why are you sad?" I asked, noticing her expression. "I can't tell you," she said, her voice heavy with emotion. "You're only a visitor here. We must say goodbye tonight. You have to leave." I was confused and heartbroken. I didn't want to leave. "I love you, Mary," I said. "I'll find petrol in the next town and come back for you. You can't stop me." She looked at me with tears in her eyes. "Goodbye," she whispered. Reluctantly, I left. The night was dark, and I walked for hours before reaching a town. There, I found petrol and asked about the village. The man at the garage gave me a strange look. "What village?" I described it, the old houses, the people in strange clothes. He hesitated before speaking. "There was a village there a long time ago, but it's gone now. Burned down during Cromwell's time. That was 350 years ago." I stared at him, shocked. "That's impossible. I was just there. I met the people. I spoke to them." The man's expression grew serious. "There's a legend," he said. "Once every 10 years, the village reappears for one day. If you're there, you must leave before dawn, or you'll never return." Suddenly, everything made sense. The old-fashioned clothes, the horses, the fire-cooked food. Mary's sadness. Her warnings. I went back to where the village had been. But it was gone. Only trees and flowers remained, and the wind carried the sound of birdsong. I sat on the ground and wept. I will never forget Mary. I will never forget that village. Now I only have to wait 2 more months. The village will return, and this time I'll stay. This time I'll never leave her again.